Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. It's been a little while since I've done a video. It's because of work, because of work and because of the chemo. I just did chemo on Tuesday, so today is May 1st, Wednesday. So yeah, I did chemo on Monday. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's the reason why I haven't really been doing videos. I'm gonna try to get back on the grind of doing them every day like I was doing before, or at least a few a week. But anyways, there's a couple of subjects I want to talk about on this video. One was watching YouTube and seeing these little issues that's going on with Gil from American Cholo and Marvelous from Marvelous Inc. I guess they ran into each other over at the LA Super Show this last weekend, and so I just have my opinion on what transpired with that. But I got on the comments and shit that I've seen for these videos on both sides. I watched both. I watched what Marvel said and I watched what Gil said, and some people were telling Gil, like, hey, you're too old to be fighting with this dude and this and that, or you're too old to be even worried about what this guy's saying and shit. So that brings me to another story that happened last week. I think it was last weekend, last Monday, I think, or last Sunday. Yeah, it was last Monday, I think. Anyways, or Saturday, I can't remember. It was last weekend. But anyways, so what happened was me and my wife went to the market, and we were gonna go do some shopping for dinner, and then get a coffee at the Starbucks in the market. And minding my own business and shit. I don't be out fucking with nobody. But we walk into the market. We get our basket and walk in, and we're standing like right there, kind of like where the Starbucks is at in front of the market. But we're not in anybody's way. She's looking through her phone for something, and I'm standing next to her. And this young dude comes in. He's probably about 25, 26 maybe. He comes in with some girl. And they kind of look like they just got back from the gym or something. But anyways, they come walking in. But I had noticed them when I was getting my basket outside. But when I noticed him, I noticed him because when I was getting the basket, he was walking across the parking lot to go into the store. To go ahead and head into the store. And I noticed that he was staring at me, but he was staring at me like, kind of like he had a problem, I don't even know who this dude was. So I'm just like, I don't pay no attention to him really. I go into the store and we're standing there. And as he's walking by us, he's like excuse us, but he's like being rude about it. First of all, we weren't even in his way. We were standing like in the middle of the aisle, but he came in like kind of like he's trying to bully somebody. You know what I mean? So I just turned around and looked at him, and he walked behind me, goes to the line of the Starbucks. I don't move. You know what I mean? Number one, when he says excuse me like that, I don't move. I just stand there. So my wife looked at me, and I just like I don't say nothing. She's like whatever. Then we get in line behind him and that girl. And he turns around, he looks at me, but he looks at me like from my feet up, like he's like staring down, kind of like like he's sizing me up. You know what I mean? He looking down and looks up at me, he looks in my face, and I'm looking at him like, "Fuck's up with this dude?" So he turns around, so I'm like, okay, let me see what the fuck's going on with this guy. So I walk to the left over here where the cups are, all them cups they sell. I walk right there because when I'm walking looking at the cups, I'll be facing him. I want to see what he's going to say or what he's going to do. So I'm acting like I look at the cups, and as I'm walking down the aisle, I'm walking like toward him. And he turns to his left, and he looks at me. He's like, again, he's looking at me up and down, like he's got a problem, you know what I mean? So I'm staring at him, and I walk past, and I go stand by my wife again. And then again, he turns around, and he's looking at me. And finally, I tell him, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, what's up? So I said, okay. So I stepped to him. I stepped up to his face. I said, you got a fucking problem with me or what? The fuck you keep looking at me for? And he's like, why are you looking at me for? He's playing this little kid shit, And I say, man, if you got a fucking problem, let me know. What the fuck you keep staring at me for, man? Do you know me or what? And he's like, why do you keep staring at me for? Like, I ain't got no time for that shit, man. You got a fucking problem or what? And then there, he's a young dude, so here he goes with his, like he's letting out all his air and shit, And I'm like, what the fuck? You got a problem or what, man? And so he like kind of like steps away, and he does all this stupid little kid shit, And I ain't got time for all that shit, he's trying to pump himself up, And he takes off his hat and making these noises, but he's kind of like, to me, he's like making a scene, take off his hat and shit, and he put it back on. He's like, gee, why you keep staring at me for it? Isn't this it? Do you have a fucking problem with me or what? That's all I want to know. You got a fucking problem with me or what? He goes, what you gonna do? You want to go outside? Okay, so once he says that, for me, you took it too far already. He took it to a point of no return. You know what I mean? Either I'm gonna back down from this kid, or he's gonna back down. He don't want to back down. His girl's right there. You know what I mean? Which is like understandable. I understand that. But he came into the market thinking he's gonna fucking bully somebody. You know what I mean? And so he's like, you what? You want to go outside? I say we can go wherever the fuck you. Now I'm like, I walk up to him, and again I'm in his face. But I'm like maybe a foot away from him. You know what I mean? Which I fucked up. I shouldn't have got so close to him. It was I know I had just did chemo, so it was last week sometime. I barely had did chemo. I think the day before, because I was off the day after. I think, but so yeah, he, yeah, I fucked up by getting too close to him because I didn't have no leverage. So he's like, you what? You want to go outside? I stepped to him. I said, we can go wherever the fuck you want. And as soon as I said that, I fucking hit him. I uppercut him. But again, I'm 6'5", he's probably like 5'7". I'm maybe a foot away from him. I'm like face to face with him. I didn't step back or nothing. I just fucking went up and just uppercutted him. But the little motherfucker, I hit him. I caught him. But again, didn't have enough leverage on it. I wasn't far enough away from him. So I hit him, and then boom, he swung. And he caught me. He caught me right here. And I don't know if I went to my knees or to a knee. All I know is that he was rushing toward me, and I jumped up and I grabbed his legs, and I'm pulling him, trying to pull him down to the floor. And all of a sudden, I just feel fucking hands all over me, And it was two guys from the market that worked there. They happened to be right there in the front when this shit happened, right there by the Starbucks. So boom, as soon as I'm taken to the fucking floor, the fucking guy's on my back. He's a fat dude. He grabbed me from behind. He's pulling me. The other guy's got under his armpits and he's pulling him back because I got his legs and I'm pulling him to the floor. And like his legs are in between my legs, and I'm just holding him, trying to get him down further, But the other guy's pulling on me, and they're pulling on him. Then all of a sudden, I hear another voice, and it's a black dude. So I turn over to my right, and there's a black dude, probably about 25, 26. He's standing over there by the Starbucks line, where you get your drinks and shit. And he's talking shit. He's like, "Hey, fucking let it go. Hey, OG, let it go. Blah blah blah. This and that." And I turned around. I said, "You know him?" And he's like, "No." I said, "Then mind your fucking business." And he's like, "What?" So here he comes, starts walking up, and I already know how they are. You know what I mean? I already know how black dudes are. They're gonna try to stomp you out when they get the opportunity. You're in a vulnerable position. They're gonna try to stomp you out. They're not gonna try to fucking. You know what I mean? So he's walking. He's like, "What'd you say?" He's trying to get all crazy walking up. So I said, "Okay, this motherfucker's gonna try to." I got this guy's legs with one arm, and I turn around and I reach for my knife and I pull it out. And I pull it out and I say, "Come on, I'll fucking stab you, motherfucker. Come over here." And then he backs up, and again, he's making a scene like, "Oh shit, this motherfucker's got a knife." So I said, "You better back the fuck away from me." You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. Mind your business. And then I can see in the kid's face now he's scared because he sees I have a knife. You know what I mean? I got two dudes, right? There's three people I'm dealing, four people I'm dealing with. The two motherfuckers that's trying to pull us apart, that kid that I'm fucking fighting with, and now this black motherfucker comes from over here. So yeah, I pull out the knife, like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I don't know what's gonna happen now. So they finally yank the kid out. The one dude yanks the kid out, the kid grabs the girl, and boom, he's out the door. So I grab my knife, put it back, and the other dude lets me go. I put my knife back in my pocket, the shit, and I turn around, and I stand in the Starbucks line, My wife don't say nothing. She's not saying nothing. Then the dude that had me, the bad dude, he comes up and says, "Hey man, you gotta get out of here, man. The manager called the cops on you, He called the cops, he saw your knife and shit, he called the cops and just leave, you know what I mean? I don't want, because I go to that Storms every day when I'm home. I go there to go grocery shopping by myself. So they all know me. The manager knows who I am. He doesn't know by my name or anything, but he knows me because I go there almost every day when I'm off work. And the women in the registers, they know who I am. The guys at the fucking meat deli, they know who I am. And I think they work at the meat deli. So he's like, "Hey man, I don't want you to get in no trouble, man. Just go ahead and take off." So I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I better get the fuck out of here." So then me and my wife get in the car. And as we're leaving, we go down the street, make a U-turn because I got to go to another market. So I make a U-turn, go to the other market. And as I made the U-turn, that's when I can see all the fucking cops with their sirens coming down the street and shit. And so whatever, that happened. But then my wife, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, she says, like, "I can't believe that you fucking hit that guy." And I was like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" You know what I mean? This guy comes in, he thinks he's gonna fucking punk somebody and shit. Fuck all that. And then I said again, once you take it so far, you took it to a point of no return. There's no turning back. Not for me. Not for me. There's no return. There's no turning back for me. And once he said it, once he had the balls to say that he wanted to go outside, there's no need. Fuck it. We're gonna take it there. We're gonna take it there. We don't have to step nowhere. We're take care of it right now. You put me into a position where I have no other choice but to fucking swing on you. You know what I mean? And that's happened to me before. You know what I mean? People put me in that position. It's like, okay, you put me in a fucking vulnerable spot right now. You back me into the corner. I'm just gonna swing on you. Fuck it. And so that's what happened. You know what I mean? The little motherfucker caught me though and shit. It was my fault though because again, I stepped too close and hit him from too close. I should have been at least a couple feet away from him, and then if I would have caught him the way I did catch him, that would have had more power to my punch, and I would have fucking knocked his ass out. But it was my fault for stepping too close to him. And again, I didn't even have the right footing. You know what I mean? I was flat-footed. I stepped to him, I hit him, and he swung it. Right after I hit him, he swung, and he caught me. But I mean, it was whatever, that happened, and then you start thinking about the shit that you should have did and the shit that could have happened, you know. And um, that day before I was leaving the house, I was going to put my rings on because usually a lot of times I put all my rings on, and I have a bunch of rings that are skulls and shit like that, and they're all fucking jagged and they have corners on them and shit like that. I mean, everybody knows that's the reason why fucking bikers wear rings. You can't wear brass knuckles, so you put on these rings and they have heavy rings that are all solid silver, and they're all fucking jagged and shit. You know what I mean? So if you hit a motherfucker with those rings on, you either gonna knock his ass out or you're gonna cut their face up pretty bad. You know what I mean? And so I didn't though. I didn't put my rings on. I walked out of the house without them, and I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I didn't because you know what? If I would have hit him, even if I didn't knock him out, if I would have hit him and he's bleeding all over the fucking place, well, I'm gonna go to fucking jail for assaulting this fucking guy because I did hit him first. I mean, I'm pretty sure the cops seen the video and shit like that. They seen, but there's usually no audio. You know what I mean? So I stepped to him. You know what I mean? I stepped to him, even though he was the one who started the whole shit. I stepped to him, and so that's what they're gonna see in the camera. And then if I had rings on and I hit him, he's fucking bleeding and shit like that. If he wanted to press charges against me, but now I'm gonna get a fucking assault charge for this bullshit. You know what I mean? Because this dumb little motherfucker wants to act tough. So, and then the other thing is like, a lot of the times, I haven't been doing it lately, but a lot of the times I have one of my guns on me, and I haven't been carrying my guns on me lately, and I'm glad that I didn't have it because I know me. I've been in that situation so many times before. I know what I'll do. Again, you take it to the point of no return. Once you got it there, it's like either you're gonna back down or you're gonna follow all the way through. And that's just the way that I am. If I'm gonna fucking pull out my gun on you, well, I'm gonna shoot you. It's not like I've never done it before. I was busted for doing shit like that. You know what I mean? So, I have two assaults with a use of a firearm. Because I pulled out a gun and used it. You know what I mean? And I've done it so many fucking times before. Just never got caught for doing it. You know what I mean? But things are different nowadays. If I would pull out a gun in the market, cameras everywhere, people with cameras. You know what I mean? There's no escaping it. You know what I mean? I thought they were going to come to my house because in that parking lot they have one of the generators with a big pole in the middle with the blue light flashing, and on top of that pole is the cameras facing all over that parking lot, and it'll go off every once in a while saying this parking lot is being monitored by cameras, and so I was thinking like, okay, they're gonna see the fucking cameras, they're gonna see the car I was in, they're gonna see the license plates, they're gonna come to my house, and see what happens from there. You know what I mean? But they never came over here, so maybe they seen, okay, well, they probably seen the knife. You know what I mean? But nobody got stabbed. He punched him. He punched him. That was that. They both went their separate ways. Fuck it. You know what I mean? We're not gonna deal with that shit. But now if I stabbed the motherfucker in there, then it's something totally different. They're gonna come to my house. They're gonna come looking for me. They're gonna fucking find me. You know what I mean? And so these are the things that could happen. You know what I mean? But my wife tells me like afterwards, she's like, you can't be. What are you doing? Like, why are you fighting for? And you can't be fighting with these young dudes. And that's the point that of this whole video, even with the fucking Marvelous thing and the American Troll thing, the thing with Gil. There's the comments that I've seen on there saying, "Oh, Gil's too old to be fucking fighting fucking with these younger dudes," because that dude Marvelous, I think, is in his early 30s or something like that. But she's like, you're not young. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna come and punk me. You're not. Once you take it to that point, you let me know a choice but to swing on you. Fuck it. I'm not gonna let nobody push me around. Give a fuck how old they are, how old that shit don't matter to me. If you want to take it there, we're gonna fucking take it there. Whether you're 25, 26, I don't give a fuck if you're 16. You want to act up, I'll punch you in the fucking face. That's just the way it is. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you can go run your mouth. And that's what this dude was doing. I don't know if he's trying to impress his little girlfriend or whatever. But, you're going to fuck with the wrong person. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what he thought. Maybe he thought, oh, because he's older. You know what I mean? He's gonna try to push me around. It's not gonna happen. I don't give a fuck how old I am. You know what I mean? I could be 60 years old. You want to go there? We're gonna go there. You know, I'm not. I was not looking for fucking problems with nobody. I wasn't doing nothing. Nobody was standing in the market. This kid gets this decided to come in. He wants to be a fucking tough guy. Well, he got punched in the fucking face for it. You know, and I did it then, and I'll do it again. You know, it's not that I'm too old to be fighting. It's you're too old to be fucking with me. You know, know your fucking places because you're younger. Doesn't mean that you're gonna come over and fuck with me, especially if I got my wife with me. You know, so that happened. That was like 2 weeks ago, whatever. Okay, so then I see these things going on with Gil and Marvelous, the dude from Marvelous, and I guess what happened? They were at the fucking. They met. They Gil was at the Lowrider Super Show last weekend. I was supposed to be there too, but he was there, and I guess somebody called and said, "Hey, that dude Marvelous is there." I guess they had some kind of fucking issue because, well, there's different fucking reasons. I guess one of them was that this dude from Northern California, this rat motherfucker from Northern California, put out some fake paperwork on that dude American Cholo saying that he was a fucking chomo, which wasn't true. You know, it was made up fucking paperwork and shit like that. And I guess that dude Marvelous was kind of around with that shit too, and was spreading that false rumors about that dude. You know what I mean? And when you say something like that about somebody, you better have some fucking proof. You know what I mean? Because you're putting a jacket on somebody that they can't take off. You know what I mean? Something like that, where you have them weird charges on you, like being a chomo, or doing fucked up shit to women. You're putting a bad name on somebody. If it's not true, you're gonna fucking answer for that shit. So I guess that's what their issue. That's one of the issues I guess they have with each other, which I can understand. I guess that dude Gil was at the Super Show, and somebody called and said, "Hey, that dude Marvelous is here too, but he's with his kid." So I guess he was there with his 14-year-old daughter at the car show. So the dude Gil goes and said, "Okay, fuck it." So he's with one of his homeboys from North Hollywood. So they're gonna go down there and look for this dude. They're gonna go walk around and look for him, and they fucking find him. And I guess the dude's about to take a picture with some other dude, and the dude Marvelous tells his daughter, "Hey, take this picture." Well, the dude Gil steps up and says, "I'll take the picture for you." And Marvelous turns around and sees him, and Gil says that Marvelous looked all scared. Well, there's two sides to every story. I'm not believing one side or the other. You know what I mean? I ain't got no dog in this fight. You know what I mean? I don't know who's telling the truth. There's always there's three sides. You know what I mean? There's his side, and then there's the truth. But he tells him, "I'll take the picture for you." Dude turns around and sees him. He says he looks all scared and shit. But he doesn't say nothing to him about nothing. He just, I guess he took the picture or whatever with his own phone. He took a picture with his phone. Gil took a picture with his phone of that guy and that guy together. I guess he walks away. What doesn't say nothing to him, just walks away, which is the best thing for him to do. It's like saying, "Okay, I'm here, you're here, I seen you. All the shit you was talking, I'm right here. I'm not gonna say anything to you though because you have your daughter with you, but just know that I'm here. You know what I mean? I see you. If you got anything to say, let me know." You know what I mean? Because it's been talking a lot of shit, But where I think that dude Gil fucked up is that he even said himself, he's like, they all walked their way, but then Gil said he started stalking him and his daughter through the car show. And then, he finds him on another aisle. And the dude tells his daughter, "Hey, go stand over there. I'll be right back." He goes over and talks, telling that dude, "Hey, you want to talk to me or what?" My thing is that dude should have left it alone. The dude had his daughter with him. The way that we grew up, and the guys from the 80s and the 90s and shit, even the guys from the 70s, you knew not to fuck with people when they had their family with them. You don't say nothing to them. You don't cause no problems. They got their mother with them, their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. You don't say nothing. You just leave it alone, especially when their kids are with them. You don't say nothing. You just leave that shit alone. There's always another opportunity for you to, I can understand him going over there and saying, I'll take the picture for you, just to let him know, like, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? But that should have been it. He should have left it alone. He should have walked away and left it alone. But no, he goes back looking around the show for him later on. And so, I don't know. You know, the dude, Gil, tells me, hey, let's go to the bathroom. We'll talk in the bathroom, you know what I mean? And nothing happened. According to what he's saying, the dude didn't want to step into the bathroom with him. He was talking about let's go outside, but he's like, "What the fuck? We need to go outside. We can go to the restroom." That dude, his homeboy was gonna watch the door. They can go inside. They can either talk or they can fucking, they can thump, whatever they were gonna do. But I guess the dude didn't want to go in the bathroom with him, whatever. Um, but again, there's always two sides of the story. The Marvel is like, listen to his shit. He said he was telling us go outside. We'll go outside and handle it and shit like that. He's like, "What the fuck? We're in a convention center. You better walk a long ass way. We can go to the restroom right here. It's big enough. We can go inside there." I don't know, but I just think that's where that dude Gil was wrong by stalking him through the car show when he got his daughter with him. He should have just left it alone. You know what I mean? But then again, if a motherfucker's over there running around telling people or showing fake paperwork and saying that you're a fucking chomo, I don't know. Maybe all bets are off. Maybe all that shit. You being with your kid and your family, man, that shit don't matter no more, because that you made you trying to make him look like the worst person in the world. Like a fucking chomo was the worst you can ever be. You know what I mean? And I mean that can get you killed. You know what I mean? The dude still lives in his neighborhood in North Hollywood. You know what I mean? That can get him killed. Passing on false paperwork and shit on somebody like that. And so I guess maybe when it comes to shit like that, I mean, I've never been put in that situation. Uh, I guess you could say like all bets are off when you do that. You know what I mean? If you want to talk shit about me and say, hey, I'm a punk or whatever, I don't give a fuck about that. But if you say something like that about me, and you are spreading false propaganda, false paperwork, and you got the shit from a fucking punk rat dude from Northern California, you know, uh, I guess all bets are off. Doesn't matter who the fuck you're with. But again, I've never been put in that situation. I just think that was wrong for him to go after the dude. After he already showed you, I'm right here. You got anything to say? You talking all this shit all the time? I'm right here. You'll see me around here. Come find me. You know what I mean? But then afterwards, he went stalking him around the car show, and that's not a good place to be doing that shit anyway. You know, the last time I went to the LA Super Show was in '96 or '97. It was the last year that they did the Super Show in LA at the convention center. Um, it was the same year that West Side Connection performed. Um, they were the main concert act was West Side Connection, and I went there with my cousin and a bunch of other dudes. We all went over there, but there was a bunch of fucking fights and shit there. Every year there was fights and shit there, man. It was always fucked up over there. You go over there and I mean, you got dudes from Harpies, you got dudes from Burlington Street. I mean, that's their neighborhoods in that area. 18, all these different neighborhoods that were right there. They'd all be there. So you'd have a bunch of fucking gangsters there. Bunch of fights, stabbings and shit like that would happen in the parking lots, and it was always a fucking mess over there. So I think that was one of the reasons why they stopped doing the Super Show in LA and moved it to Vegas. Well, now they bring it back to LA. You know what I mean? And so this kind of shit would, if something would have happened with them two fucking guys there, um, puts a fucking, gives the whole fucking lowrider scene in the Bicleto scene a black eye, because we bring it back to LA and boom, you guys are fucking fighting in the fucking car show. You know what I mean? And that's where I think when people were saying, hey, Gil, you're too old to be doing this and that. But then again, you're not in that guy's shoes. You know what I mean? You run into a motherfucker there that's telling people that you're a fucking chomo. And you're doing it all over the internet. So, like I said, um, yeah, maybe he's, because he's the same age as me. Gil's the same age as me. Me and him were in youth authority together, but I just wasn't in the same compound that he was at in Paso Robles. But we were there around the same time. I got there in 1990, and I got out of there in 1992, at the end of 92. And during that period of time, he was there, I think. So we're the same age. Um, but they're like, you're too old to be fucking fighting with these dudes and shit. Like, hey, wait a minute. It's kind of like the same thing. You took him to the point of no return. You're saying foul shit about him that can get him killed. And you're doing it all over the fucking internet. And it wasn't just that; it was some other bullshit that I heard that it was also their issue was that because Marvel was saying something about you know Gil's not a Chicano or he's not a raza, he's because he's from Honduras. So that was the issue with that. Then there was some other bullshit, some other stupid shit. But it's a trip, man, because all these guys they all fucking want to fight with each other, pick on each other. My thing is, to be honest with you, Gil can get a hold of that dude Marvis anytime he wants to on the phone. Marvis can get a hold of that dude Gil anytime he wants to on the fucking phone. So if them two dudes got issue with each other, why the fuck you guys don't just call each other? Either you talk about the shit without putting it all over the fucking internet, without because the thing is like, just say for instance, these two dudes get on the phone and they talk to each other. One of them is gonna record the conversation. One of them is gonna screenshot fucking text message. That's the way that motherfuckers act nowadays. They want proof of shit. You know what I mean? And I think that if they really had some kind of fucking issue, why don't you just call each other? Why don't you call each other and say, hey, you know what? This is why I got a fucking issue with you. I'm telling you. And either we talk about the shit, or we go right now, or whenever you want. Just me and you. We'll meet up somewhere. Nobody's there. No fucking cameras and that bullshit. We go over there and we handle our shit. And after that, you leave it alone. I leave it alone. That's it. You know what I mean? But then you got these other fucking guys on these other Northern California guys. And I'm not saying nothing bad about all the dudes from Northern California, but most of these fucking rat punk YouTube channels, they're a bunch of fucking dropouts or motherfuckers. Or they were. So there's one that he was at the punk. He dropped out before he fucking dropped in. You know what I mean? Uh, they're trying to make a little money up and say, hey, they want to do this little boxing shit. Trying to encourage these fucking guys to box each other in the ring or some bullshit and sell it on pay per view. It's fucking stupid. This is real life shit. You know, um, but again, if these two dudes got issue with each other and they have each other's phone numbers, why you wait to see each other at a fucking car show? Why don't you just make a phone call? If you ain't got his number, you can get it. You know what I mean? You can message him on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Like, hey, here's my phone number. Give me a call. Let's straighten this whole situation out. Either we're gonna talk about it, or we can fucking handle it and then leave it alone. Because when you catch each other on the streets like that, you're gonna be put in a position where you're in, well, like I said, you're at the point of no return. You know what I mean? And things can turn out even worse, just like it did for me. Well, just like it could have did for me a couple weeks ago, if I would have had my gun on me. You know what I mean? Or if I would have had all my rings on and I would have hit this guy and just busted his shit up. I could be sitting in the fucking county jail for some dumbass shit. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna go to the point of return. And the same thing with these two guys. They see each other there, and one guy got his kid with him, the other guy got his homeboy with him. You know what I mean? You're already putting one person in a bad situation because he's got his kid. He's not gonna want to look bad in front of his kid, and he's not gonna let you punk him in front of his kid. Then you got the other guy, he got a homeboy there, and his homeboy, what does he got to lose? You know what I mean? He can end up doing something stupid, and everybody gets into a lot of bullshit over stupid ass shit, you know? So instead of doing all that, why don't you just both of you get on the fucking phone? They ain't gotta record shit. You know what I mean? They, especially Gil, he should know better than that shit. He ain't gotta record nothing. He ain't gotta fucking screenshot nothing. He ain't gotta record the conversation. He can just call and say, hey, look, either we're gonna talk about it, don't record nothing. Just me and you are gonna talk about it. After that, you don't mention my name, I don't mention your name, but leave it alone. That's it. You see me, I see you. We don't say nothing to each other, or we be cordial with one another and say, hey, what's up, and that's it. You know, once you decide you're gonna squash the shit, you squash the shit and leave it alone. You know what I mean? But they should really think about that shit because they're all over the social media now. You know, and everybody's watching. And everybody likes that fucking drama on the social media, especially the shit that goes on YouTube. You know what I mean? All these northern dudes that have their channels, they have nothing to lose. That's why they start all the shit they start because they have nothing to lose. They're already no goods. They're already punks. You know what I mean? They're already rats. They have nothing to lose. So they like to get on the internet and start shit. They go on the internet and they make fake paperwork on people and shit like that. You know what I mean? And other people fall for it. You know what I mean? So, my opinion with that shit is that Gil should have never looked for the dude afterwards, and because it could have turned out worse than it did. Um, and the other dude should finally admit that he was pushing false paperwork on that guy and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I did. There was false. It was false paperwork, bullshit. You know, either apologize for it and leave it alone. You know, but as long as you don't say nothing and you don't apologize to the dude for pushing false paperwork and saying he's a fucking chomo, you're gonna always have issue, and um, it makes you look bad. It gives you a fucking bad name. It gives that dude Marvel's a bad name that he was pushing that fucking fake propaganda like that. If you want to say the dude's a punk or he's this and that, whatever, but when you push false paperwork like that, saying or you're throwing it out there that this dude is that you heard that there's paperwork on him that he's a chomo and all this shit like that, uh, that's wrong. You know what I mean? And you should be mad enough to fucking apologize for that shit. And then I think that if he was to do that kind of shit, the other dude would say, okay, fuck it. You know, you were out there talking shit publicly. You should make a public apology about it. If you want to fight with the motherfucker, get on the phone with him. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, if you're gonna apologize to dude, you were talking shit publicly, trying to make a buck off the shit. You should publicly apologize to the dude for talking about false bullshit that could get somebody killed. You know, so I guess I kind of, you know, I think you know, Gil was wrong in one way, but then he was right in another way too, because you know, I'd be pretty fucking pissed off if somebody was doing that kind of shit to me too. Um, Again, that's taking it to the point of no return. You know, I have no other choice but to fucking. You left me no other choice but to fucking react and do what I gotta do because of things that you're doing. You know, and that's the same thing that happened to me the other day. You took me to the point of no return. You know, I had to fucking do it. And there was another time a couple years ago, you know, where the guy put me at the point of no return. I had no other choice but to take off on him. You know, and and, you know, when things like that happen with me, because it's happened a few times where, you know, the last few times I got into fights and had to hit people is because they took me to a point of no return. They weren't gonna back down. They're starting shit. I'm not gonna back down because I wasn't starting nothing. You know, I'm never the person that's out there starting shit with nobody. You know, but you know, somebody comes starts fucking acting up. They take me to the point of no return where I can't back up now. I'm just gonna swing on you now. Fuck it, and whatever happens, happens. So I think that's where that dude Gil was at. You know, he's seen him. You're spreading false propaganda that can get this dude killed. Um, he had no. I guess he just had no other choice but to fucking confront the situation. But Again, there's always a time and place, and the fucking LA Super Show wasn't the best of places to do that shit. And luckily, there was no. I don't think there's any video on that shit because there really nothing happened. So, anyways, that's where I got the idea from the whole thing of, you know, when people say, "Oh, you're too old to be fighting with people," they're saying, "Gil, you're too old to be fucking fighting with this dude," or "You're too old to be, even fucking getting involved with what the bullshit he's saying." Like, no, you're too old to be fucking with me. Do you know what I mean? Just leave me alone. And I think that's the way that he feels. Like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? I'm not doing nothing to you guys. You guys are making false paperwork on me because you don't like me because, I'm making more money than you guys. I got a bigger YouTube channel because that's what this shit's all about. This shit's all about YouTube. Because a motherfucking dude's doing good on YouTube. He's making good money on YouTube. He's got his own studio now and shit. And he's making a living off the shit. Plus, he's still got his regular job. Um, and there's motherfuckers out there that hate that shit. They don't want to see you doing good. It's like what Dub says. It's the crabs in the bucket. You know, they're trying to pull you down, and our people are like that. When they see the other ones doing good, they don't want to see you doing good. They're gonna continue to try to pull you down. Even your own fucking friends. You know what I mean? I got like what, almost 30,000 followers on Instagram, and I got 1,200 followers. No, 1,100 followers on fucking YouTube. I know there's people out there that know me personally that don't subscribe to the YouTube channel because they know that the more I get, the more money I'm gonna make off this shit, and they don't want to see me making money. They're gonna smile in my face and be cool as fuck. They're gonna come down here to my house when I'm hospitable to them. I feed them. I give them fucking food, drink. I'm very inviting to these people, but in their own minds, I know they're like, fuck that. I'm not gonna subscribe. Why? So he can get paid because I'm gonna be making money off the making videos. Well, you know what I mean. You can make money too if you get off your lazy ass and go make a YouTube channel. You can make some money. You know what I mean? But there's people out there that don't want to see that. They don't want to see you doing good, even if they're your own fucking friends. They don't want to see you doing good. They ain't gonna like a motherfucking thing that you do. But they'll come to your house and they'll smile on your face. They'll shake your hand. They'll eat the fucking food you give them. They'll drink the beer you give them, the whiskey you give them. They'll do all that. But the moment they know you're gonna make some kind of money, they'll back the fuck off. They don't want to see that. It's just the way that people are, you know what I mean? There's a lot of motherfucking haters out there and shit, and that's what that dude Gil's going through, I guess. People don't want to see him doing good. You know what I mean? Same thing with that dude Dubs. They don't want to see that dude doing good, so they make false narratives about the dude. And I was talking to my wife about it yesterday. I was telling her how all these dudes are all connected now. These dudes from Northern California, the rap motherfuckers up there that have their YouTube channels, um, how they do all the things they're doing, all these fucking fake propaganda and shit they put out there about people, and they ain't got nothing better to do with their time but talk about other men. You know what I mean? To make false paperwork about other men. That's what they do. Um, they ain't got interesting lives. So they have to talk shit about somebody else's life, or make up false stories about somebody else's life. But it is what it is. Me, I don't give a fuck. I would just ignore the shit because I don't know the motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what they gotta say. But anyways, yeah. So again, I'm not too old to be fucking fighting with people. You're too old to be fucking with me. It's like, leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone, and I won't put my hands on you. And that's just the way it is. Anyways, that's the video for today. Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it, and I'll be talking to you guys later.